Hello everyone, this is John for PokerVIP.com, and in this video we're going to keep smashing on with the grinding TonyBet series. I believe this is part 9 now, and in today's one we are playing 3 tables of 25NL and 1 table of 5NL. So yeah, pretty good selection there, quite happy with that. Would have been good if I could have got 4 25NL tables, but we will take it. And we will try and win as much money as possible. Some familiar faces: Goedemendig Dag, however you pronounce that, and Ernesto Sell are the two standing out. Both very good players, both regs, and both who will be beating these games at a pretty good rate. So they're the ones to watch out for, but we're going to obviously try and play our best versus them, but then also, get as much money off everyone else as well. Interesting spot here. I think a jam is just fine versus this guy's stack size and on this board. We can definitely get caught by worse. But, good for protection. Don't really want to call. Go check on the turn. Just happy to get it in versus an under 30 big blind stack with top pair queen kicker. Goedemendig here. This is an interesting spot because he definitely watches my videos. So he knows I re-isolate a lot, but I have a super strong hand here. So I should definitely still be doing this. But he will be sat there like, yeah, guy limped. I'm going to 4x. John's going to re-ISO. So it'll be interesting to see what he does here. He said yes. Oh, sorry, he was talking to someone else. I thought he might have been replying to that. But he goes ahead and folds anyway. We obviously block like a lot of big hands that you can have, ace, king, ace, queen, jacks, aces, all of those hands. So we should definitely be doing it. Going to go ahead and pot raise the a7 versus 2 limpers. This guy seems to have a full stack, and he seems to be a reg. He's talking about rake back and races and stuff, so I'm not really too sure what his limping behind range will be. He actually goes ahead and limp fold, which is interesting. Get a pretty terrible flop for our hand, and a pretty good one for him. He's going to have lots of tens, jacks, straight draws, and so on. Could also just have a lot of undercards, but I think I'm just going to check here and probably try and get to showdown or go ahead and hit. Interesting spot here again. I think I might just go ahead and flat here with the intention of maybe Disney is going to limp jam, or maybe Zil Van Asem is doing that, so we will just basically go with it if that happens. Or we'll just play, pocket tens in position. There we go, okay. I will still call if Ernesto jams, I think. I think I have to do that once I've called behind, because he's never going to put me on a hand this strong. He's going to jam a wider range. And obviously tens is a monster, but hey, this works out perfectly for us anyway. And yeah, we just need to win a flip. Which we do. I'm going to go ahead and bet my 9-10 again. With my gut shot. Obviously, just hoping another Varova card comes, or we hit an 8. This is one of the cards I won't continue on. Definitely serves him better than it serves me, so I would have just given up on this one anyway, or now I can just go ahead and fold. Okay, so I raise here and get a really small 3-bet versus a guy who's playing around a 40 big blind stack. We're going to peel and hopefully just hit the flop really hard. That's pretty much as far and as advanced as that strategy goes. We're getting a good price, we've got a playable hand, we're in position. So the next step is to just try and hit the flop and go, go, go. But on this occasion, it's just going to be a check back and a fold on turn. Really no need to do anything else than that there. Deuce 3, we check the big blind after a limp from under the gun, and the small blind just making it up. We're just going to continue to check. Just going to go ahead and defend the ace-queen here. We can definitely 3-bet it as well. But good to balance that. Obviously never folding. Flop, second pair, top kicker. Obviously a very strong hand, and our hand is incredibly under-repped. Interesting spot here with the 8-6 suited. I think it's probably just best to fold there. Raising the ace-trap blind versus this guy who we perceive as a weaker player. Going to go ahead and check flop, hopefully just induce, or I can go for turn and river value. call the ace queen, and I'll definitely call turn as well. Ace jack looking really good. Just going to go ahead and bet again. Going to keep it very small. Don't think he's going to be that strong. And also I'm going to give him room to, go ahead and bluff raise if he wishes to do so. But he just calls, which is a great thing. Let's have a look at this. He actually had king 3 for bottom pair. That is good. That is good news for us. Interesting here, Goem's tanking pretty heavily on the river. We're not really too sure what he's doing that with. He actually gives up. It was going to be a very interesting decision on the river just because of how underat my hand was. He actually has 7-9 of hearts there, so he was just betting into his flush draw. Aces. Just going to 3-exit here. We're going to just go ahead and half pot our 3 10s. Not the greatest turn card for us there. Checking or betting, I mean, it's pretty even. In success, then river's always going to be a call. And yeah, he has a 9. Cool. Easy peasy. So yeah, guys, make sure you check out TonyBet. Available on Mac, Windows, Android, iOS. Lots of awesome features, cool games. Also going to be part of the onlinepokerleague.com, which you have to check out. $25,000 added to the prize pool. Free entry, tournaments every single night. Winner's going to walk away probably all in all with about 10 grand. A7 suited here. I go ahead and open. I'm just going to go for my typical half pot C bet and just take it down. Obviously, just great if he folds any 2 cards there. They're all going to be doing, fine versus mine. So if he just goes ahead and tosses that 10 high away, that is certainly a good thing. King Queen here, interesting spot because this guy's only got 30 big blinds. I'm just going to go ahead and defend. Very loose defend by me there. It's definitely not going to be a bad thing if a reg sees you defending or opening hands like this versus or from early position. Just add some dynamics to the games. Ace-10 here, I would usually go for a re-ISO, but this guy's just going to be getting in a lot with his stack size, so it's just going to be a fold. Going to c-bet my gut shot. And take it down. C-bet success rate on this site is so incredibly high. Half pot, take it down. Half pot, take it down. It really is just like this concurring theme. Oh, big squeeze by Ernesto. I think I might have to put him to a decision here. I basically, obviously, block a lot of big hands. And if he chooses to peel, then that's fine. But I think this is just like a great 4-bet spot versus someone who I've seen squeeze an awful lot. And I think my sizing, looks really good. Because when we do have to fold, we have risked 725. Which is a pretty good amount to win what's in the pot. And also, like I say, if he does peel, then that is whatever. Also, if he folds, we just get to absolutely crush him, and nice. Poker says, LOL cookie jar, yeah. Ernesto just squeezes an awful lot. We obviously have a really nice purple hand. We also block a lot of big hands, so it's just a great spot for us to go ahead and full bet bluff. And it worked nicely. He watches these videos, I know, so. Haha, gotcha. And doing stuff like that, and just, going with it is obviously good for spots like this, where we wake up with a really big hand, big blind versus button. We can now start to sort of balance those bluffs with super strong hands as well. He decides to peel. We are going to go ahead and bet our 2 overs and a gut shot and backdoor king high flush draw. King 8 versus 5-10 on the top right table. Two real premium hands right there. Also, TonyBet now run it twice videos, tournaments, sorry, which will make a bonus appearance in one of these parts going forward. King Jack, wet board, top pair. Could be worse, could be better. Gonna just start off by betting. Could also go for like a check call line. Because it sucks when you get raised on these flops and get put into a really tough spot. But against two, I'm just going to go for it and start at this point. Ernesto peels from the big blind, he then calls flop. He's going to have some hands that beat me on the flop, but mainly this turn sucks, so it's just going to be a check. River 4-6 gets there, but 8-9, 9-10, 6-8 all miss. Ace-Jack I expect him to squeeze. Jack-Queen is possible, but I block it. So he's kind of repping like a flush or something that was massive on the flop. I'm not too sure I believe it, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and make the call here. Float me with King-Queen. That's a really nice hand for him to float us with. Not too sure I like that float from him. Not just because of my hand, just out of position after he flatted pre with the hand I'm going to be crushing. Very random play there by Ernesto, but it worked out for him. I like his sizing on the river, you know. If I don't think he's going to value bet a jack like that, so it's just like, does he really have a queen or better? Hard for him to have many queens. Better, I think his sizing is often larger, so he is kind of just repping like a random queen. And yeah, just couldn't really give him that enough of the time. But he had it that time and he got the max, so bet size I really liked. It worked. The float out of position though? Not so much. This poker guy I've definitely seen around. It's interesting that he's multi-tabling, but you know, random stack sizes, playing a bit random, you know, betting 25 into 309. I'm not really too sure what to make of him yet. I mean, I've got to assume a weaker player, but he could also just be playing up to a reputation. Queen 10, I make a loose open under the gun. We were 5-handed at the time. I definitely open wide on sites like this. Turn flop I just snap check. You know, I'm never going to be folding this hand. You know, I just call and call. Or I can think about just betting and betting. But the main thing is it's just to look sort of like weak. Let him, you know, induce and hopefully just print some money. Make a full house on the river. It's going to be a pretty easy bet fold line. And I go really large when I bet for these full houses, because I think if he's got ace high, he's going to call this bet because it looks like I'm trying to bluff like an underpair or something, or get him off an ace high. So definitely happy to bet fold a larger amount there. He ends up just snap folding, so looks like we got a nice bet out of him on the turn there. With a very weak hand. Jack 9, I'm just going to check. Queen 4, I'm just going to fold. Six deuce in the bin. And a lot of other folds going on as well. I have mentioned before, we will do a part of this video where we introduce the straddle, where you double the big blind under the gun, just to create some action, create some juice, discuss the pros and cons of doing it. So make sure you stay tuned for that. The game seems to be running pretty well today. All the tables really breaking. Gonna go ahead and ISO here with the 6-7 suited, and I'm just gonna 3x it. Just definitely commit less in case he is going for the limp raise. He actually limp folds there, which is pretty cool, but we do get the cold call. I'm gonna bet once and be done with it. We are repping the ace high board. He didn't, you know, 3-bet pre. You know, it is gonna be pretty successful for us to do it there. But you know, it's definitely a one and done spot. Ace king all in. Jacks hold. And king 8 I opened here, flop second pair. It's just going to be a very straightforward check back and then make decisions on turns and rivers. Obviously we want kings or 8s or undercards to the 8, so the jack is not ideal. I'm going to go ahead and raise it up here. And versus a pot size with a player behind, I'm actually just going to fold the king 8. Interesting. Get limp raised on the top left table, and it's such a small raise, just doubling the size of my bet essentially. So I will be peeling in position with ace jack, getting 3 and a bit to 1. And sadly we will not be able to continue at this point. Don't really know too much about him for getting this hand in pre, so I'm just going to go with that. Five, 6 and jack 6, we're going to go ahead and fold. People talk about the rake back and rake changes there. Need to look into that. People hate it when like a race changes or something. But generally with new sites, they obviously pile a lot of promotion in, like promotional money into like races and bonuses and rake back and whatnot, and then obviously that starts to come down a little bit. But you know, we've got to make sure it doesn't come down to a point where it hurts. So definitely need to look into what they're talking about. I think TonyBet was doing a fantastic job before. Hopefully it just stays that way. Software is incredibly light. Does not cause any problems for my computer. Oh, it's really nice and smooth. Never have any disconnection problems. King Queen we open, get 2 callers. And we're going to go for a check fold on this flop. I just read the ticket there and I hate ticket boxes, so I always try not to. I think it's always good to just manually try and do these things. 9, 10, yeah, let's go for it. We'll go for the ISO in position. Just always worried about like a short stack, just, you know, getting in, but just, you know, there's just too much money out there for me to want to go ahead and miss. We get re-ISO'd. But with this hand, we're just going to have to fold. Nothing we can do there. Folding on all tables and getting a raise through with ace queen pre-flop. The action is good in the sense the tables are full, but you know, there's not people like really shoveling stacks in today like we've seen previously. Obviously we are only halfway through the video, so anything can happen, but you know, we're plodding along, probably making like 6-7 euros, which is a very good hourly and, you know, win rate. But certainly before, we definitely saw a lot more people, you know, just punting off stacks. And that's been in the first 8 videos, let alone, you know, back in the day. So it's just probably a iffy time. I'm actually making this video at 12:30 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. So it shouldn't be busy, or, you know, there shouldn't be that many punters on, realistically. But these are the times I've usually been making them. And the action has certainly been better before. But like I say, only halfway through the video. So anything can happen. King Queen. I'm not too sure about this guy. I'm just going to go ahead and defend. Really good flop, top 2 pair. 5 is going to be a call. Terrible turn card there. Going to go ahead and check. I think it's fine to call here. He's going to have straights, obviously, a good amount of time, but he's also just going to be bluffing. And also the implied odds if I hit a full house. I don't really think he would give me too much credit, and he doesn't seem the type to go ahead and fold a straight, certainly to the ace. So if we do hit a king or a queen, then we can get seriously paid. River, though, we're going to have to just go ahead and muck it and fold. Four, 5 suited. Queen 9. Both go into the muck. As this is 7-10 and the ace deuce. Maybe I'm just playing tighter today. Maybe in other videos I'm a little bit more splashy. Drive and create action, that's for sure. Ryan won, another reg on the bottom right table. But yeah, you never see more than 2 regs per table. That is for sure. You know, and if you see 2, you probably ran a bit bad. Big pot going on top left. Open and a jam. I mean, I'm not super confident with this aces hand. We can bet or we can check. And yeah, it was just an easy snap. Yeah, 4-8. Unlucky, bro. You tried. You tried. People say, is it RIP TonyBet? They've been bought by Betson, but it's just Betson have only bought shops in Lithuania. Just trying to explain, they didn't buy the poker, they bought the shops in Lithuania or something like that. So yeah, definitely nothing to worry about them moving to microgaming. They have not developed this beautiful software that they created. People just need to read things. I think people just read headlines. If you just read the thing, it all works. You know, it all works fine. Anyway, huge pot going on bottom left there. Quick call, paired board, flush draw. Lots of money in the pot. Gonna play heads up top left. Why not? Interesting bet size there. Didn't put him all in. What? What is going on? What the hell is going on there? Jack Rag absolutely going for it with the ace-4, and Sylvan Azam with the jacks just not budging. Boo! They don't give us action. They don't give us action. We're going to stay sat there and see what happens, though. Even though we're getting a really good price, with the Queen-7, still going to opt to go ahead and fold. It is really just going to get us into hopefully we get a table started here, top left. I'm very bad at speaking whilst reading, so I do apologise if I've cut off a few of things I was saying there. Obviously not ideal when people are talking negatively in videos, but this is real, so we'll keep it as real as it is. And I think it'll all be fine. I'm going to go ahead and bet the ace-10. Top pair, he didn't 3-bet. This is the guy who bluffed before. It's quite tempting to, like, you know, let him bluff, but, you know, once he's checking to us, we need to just go ahead and keep on betting. I think river I might bet really small and see if I can induce a bluff. Let's see what happens here. And I just calls and we scoop the pot. You know, basically when I see someone really punt off hard, I assume they're just going to continue to punt, so I do everything I can in my powers to make them do that. But not today. Ace-5, really bad flop. 10s isn't open. And yeah, Ryan again, somebody who knows, you know, I make these videos, knows how I play. So, you know, definitely some dynamics there. And as you can see, like I said, you very rarely get 2 regs at a table. If another one comes and sits, one person leaves. And nobody knows each other, nobody's doing this on purpose. They're just like, why do I need to bother playing in these games with these good people when there's so many fish in other tables? So it's actually pretty cool to see like the people who use Poker VIP are really smart and just know, like, you know, battling, you know, on a table which has, you know, more than 1 reg is just not the best thing to do. Unless there's some huge marks on the table, of course, then you should never leave. I'm going to go ahead and call the 8-10 suited versus a very small raise, and we're going to go ahead and raise up the ace-6. Great flop for us here with the 8-10. I'm just going to go ahead for a call. Great turn card. And a great river. I mean, it just gets better and better. I'm thinking this guy's probably going to have some overpairs. And I think he's going to think I missed some draws or I'm turning some hands into bluffs. So I'm going to go ahead and slightly overbet here and get the snap call, yeah. And I think he's going to just have kings. Yeah, kings. Unlucky, buddy. His hand's face up. My hand can look like, you know, a misdraw. You know, why would I ever bet that big if I, you know, had something that wants to get called? But he snapped. And he said, seriously? Call with nothing, moron? I mean, you know, it is one of those things that, you know, I would never, like, answer him back on here or whatever. But, you know, if you're the guy who thinks that way, the way you've got to be thinking is you 3-bet very small. I should always be calling. You know, you check the turn, you snap call the river bet. You know, it's you who made the mistakes there, certainly not me. Queen 9, I check flop, so I can, you know, basically call turn, call river. And King Jack, I am just going to go ahead and bet. Don't like the king, but, you know, once I check flop, it's going to just always be a call. And sadly, he did get there with the king 6 off. But at least we got him to put some money in on the turn. Right? That's the way we have to look at this one. Queen 10, I open, get a king high rainbow flops. This will be a good spot for a continuation bet. Obviously, we have more big kings than he does. Really bad turn card for us there. A lot of his straight draws, you know, now make pairs or just get there and complete the straight. So we're just going to be done with this one. And again, the river just not ideal. So we're just going to give up here. And he has the old Jack 6 Rooney, which is fine. He played his hand just fine. 5s we're going to go ahead and open. 8-3 he limped. We're going to go ahead and just check. Ooh, our friend Ed Venus is coming back for some revenge here by the looks of it. And he might just get it on this board. He might just get it. I guess I need to bet now. And take it down. 5s I see bet, get raised, fold. That is not a problem. Five, 6 here, not an ideal flop. One we would have gone ahead and c-bet though, but once he leads, I'm happy to just fold. Even though, you know, we can start raising and repping, he only has 40 big blinds. We're not too sure who this guy is. I think I'm just going to go ahead and fold in that spot and be pretty comfortable with it. Jack 9 suited, very loose open, but one I like to incorporate now and then. Lots of poker coaches would shout at me for that, but I just like playing lots of hands on this site. We certainly have a huge pre-flop and a huge post-flop edge. 9s here, I think I'm just going to raise and get it in. It's a monster hand four-handed. He's 5x'd it, so there's money to be picked up there. I think it's the best way is to just go ahead and go. He annoyingly calls, and I'm basically just going to go ahead and bet once and be done. He calls pretty quick, so that's it for us. We're going to assume he has some sort of weak ace. And up here, we're going to go ahead and bet pot. You're going to have to fold there. We 3-bet the Jack 10. Going to go ahead and bet very small on flop. And hopefully turn something. But it's not what we wanted to turn. We don't want like a 9, a 10, a Jack, a Queen, King, or an Ace. Ace here we open, Queen, Queen, Deuce. Get led into, gonna go ahead and make a call. Essentially, it'll just be a call, or call, bet kind of spot. Gonna bet really small though. Imagine he's gonna have some draws or just weak pairs. Jacks we're gonna go ahead and bet. Jack now we're gonna go ahead and fold. And we are gonna sit out. We are done. So yeah, sorry about that one. I know I was definitely occupied by chatting a little bit to the people and discussing the rake changes, but I think that's important for you to see and to hear. Never want to hide anything in videos. Still, awesome site. Loads of rewards and bonuses and money to be won. There are another 15 parts to come of this over the next 4 months. So yeah, stay tuned, leave some comments, leave some reviews, and good luck at the tables. Goodbye.